Well, that already looked really good. The first two fish here at the spot already left quite an impression on me, and that's why I'm testing further here together with you, and we'll see what else we can get here. Yes, Blue Marlin pulled really nice fish here and posted the whole thing in Discord. Link to the Discord, by the way, under the video. Just take a look, there's plenty of information about the game. Yes. And one spot that worked really well for him was, for example, here at the Yama, and all relaxed on spinning, but in a much bigger size. And I first go a bit smaller. First a little finer setup, and above all smaller lures. And then out with the lure. So just casually cast out, let it sink a little, and then reel in casually again. Just retrieve smoothly, and bam, the next bite already comes. First fish right now here at the spot was the Coho Salmon. That of course is already really fun. I'd like to have more of that. And the next fish was right away a big Lenok. And that is of course really good because those are worth a lot of silver. So I'd like to get more of that. Yes. And the Masu, that one Blue Marlin caught as a trophy, and that is of course really nice. So the Masu as a trophy, I'd of course also take that along. However, I already caught both types of Masu salmon, so both already checked off as trophies. But here, as I said, to catch the Coho Salmon again, that would of course be really, really nice. The nice thing is we don't know exactly how the weather situation was at Blue Marlin's catch when he posted it, and where he caught the fish. But what we do know for sure is that with the weather right here, right now, it already works quite well. And accordingly, it can also work for you at different temperatures and weather conditions. However, at the Yama, you must always keep in mind that over the course of the day, you have 3 to 5 different weather situations, and those in turn make the fish have different preferences. That can even go so far that it's not only different colors working better or worse, but also different lure shapes. And of course, also retrieve speeds on the rod can cause the fish to bite better or worse. What does all that influence mean? Well, of course, quite clearly, depending on the light conditions. So sometimes you have more sun, or it's more cloudy, or you have rain. Depending on the light conditions, you must of course adapt the color. Then the fish generally change their preferences according to the form of the lure. But also, as I said, the retrieve speed is also important because depending on temperature, the fish hold in different zones. Very nice. There he is, the Coho Salmon. That's the one I want, but in big size. And as I said, with the different zones, we reach them when we reel at different speeds. So if we are with a spinner and reel very fast, the spinner goes upwards and we pull rather along the surface. If we reel more slowly, it goes further down, and accordingly we can vary. Additionally, fish sometimes react more to stop and go, or to a jigging retrieve, or then also to continuous retrieving. So there are simply different retrieving methods, and you just have to test them all. When you are at the spot, you are certainly at another weather and temperature situation than I am when you test it. You must test all of it through. I do that too. There is no other way. If you want to successfully pull something out here at the Yama, you must keep all these components in mind so you know you have to do something different. Otherwise, you won't catch anything. If you just retrieve continuously and you realize it doesn't work, well then it's not the fish, it's not the spot, it's you. Because you are doing something wrong. That's how simple it is, and that's how mean fishing can be. Then you think, yes man, here someone caught a super trophy. I also catch a super trophy. And suddenly you catch nothing because you simply didn't test everything that you could have tested. That is always the A and O. So knowledge about the game, that is very important. Get and absorb all information you can, and then you also try out a lot. Now let's first look at the setup I'm using right here. A pretty good rod I'm using right now, and a relatively simple reel, a nice 6,000 reel from Copper Lake. I often use it also at Copper Lake, the EVA 6000, so win-win. 6,000 reels are excellent reels for spin fishing because with them we can cast significantly further out, And usually 6,000 reels are enough in terms of drag strength and line capacity. Yes, and even for line capacity, this reel here is phenomenal, an insanely good reel. It can hold over 350 meters of very thick line. I'm using fluorocarbon completely right now, so without leader material, directly only fluorocarbon. And that here on the Vico 14, Blue Marlin, who posted the report, used the Vico 25, so much bigger. But I like to test this size here at the Yama because it always delivers quite well. And especially this one here, this 03, is really, really good also for Masu and for Lenok. So that's how it looks right now. I've been here about 8 minutes at the spot. Coho Salmon, Masu, Lenok. Those are exactly the ones coming right now. By the way, you can also catch them on float. So if you'd rather stand with a float here with a dung beetle or with a grasshopper, that can also work. Just try different depths, different distances into the water, and of course also lure depths where something might go. I'll try it here for quite a while now until it gets dark. And the next day I'll test another lure again, a completely different one, namely the Xander artificial lure. Also an absolute classic, you should definitely get one. The Xander artificial lure, unfortunately you can only make it yourself or have it made. But there are many players who level their percentages in artificial lure crafting with it because it's a very cheap and very effective way to skill artificial lure crafting. That's why many players have this Xander artificial lure lying around. Just ask who has one left. And there comes the next one. Even a gray char here at this spot. Yes, as I said, here at this spot, I'll show it again on the map. A very classic position here in the area, especially this near section, a bit deeper but still close to shore. So from here we could even stand with the telescopic rod into the deep. That's a predestined section where float fishing also works perfectly. Here further down in the area it's the same, or here in this section. Always these areas that are excellent for float fishing, even if you want to stand with the telescopic rod. But also in spinning it works quite well. Third option just came to my mind thinking about the Lenok. You can also fish here with Tunguska rodents, with mice. That's also an option if you want to target Lenok more specifically. Quite an idea. Yes, maybe I'll also do that shortly, test it with a 20 mouse or so. That would also be a possibility. So, now first continue casting and retrieving. Right now, I'm at a speed of about 27, yes, but I think I'll go a bit faster, and bam, that's always dependent on the current. Do you pull with the current or against the current? I always pay attention that the action bar below flickers nicely. That means you can see on the action bar that the lure rotates. And this rotation of the lure you see on the action bar, and that for me is always a good sign. This speed is exactly so that the lure rotates nicely and can maximally attract. That for me is always the most important point. And then in the speeds you have different zones where it wobbles. Sometimes very slow, sometimes medium speed, mostly also very fast, then they really come into rotation. Well, now we have a lot of gray char here, but I actually don't want those. That means I will definitely try around again shortly with other lures and simply test whether more coho salmon will come in. And always very important with coho salmon, don't go too thick, rather go more carefully. They are the somewhat shy salmon species, so the coho salmon, but also the sockeye salmon, for example. Those are the ones where it's best to go finer, or maybe even stand here with the ultralight setup and try to go for these salmon with ultralight. Yes, I still have some time before it gets completely dark. Usually around 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's over here at the water. At night, you can then go for burbot, for example, or also try the long-nosed sucker. Also a super rare fish, or you just get a coffee and continue fishing after 4 in the morning. Yes, so much about the spot. That's how it looks right now. I still have to try around a bit. The beginning was already not bad, especially this Lenok with over 3 kilograms. That one is also worth it in terms of silver because it already brings over 50 silver. But also the coho salmon, they are worth it here too. So get here to the water, test, and of course pull out the coho salmon. And I also have to keep searching because the Coho Salmon still misses me as a trophy. And I would like this year to complete 130 different trophies, so 130 stars this year. Let's see if that works. If it helped you, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, helps me a lot, and then we'll see each other in the next video. Until then, tight lines.